It's Bestie versus Bestie, with TV producer Jen Wojnar facing off against her best pal, freelance editor Cara Rouse, in 20 questions on breakfast foods and British TV shows. This is Trivia with Buds. And welcome to another episode of the Trivia with Buds podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Buds. I'm a trivia host and writer in Southern California, hosting trivia nights like 5 nights a week and sometimes more. I pride myself in pop culture trivia, like the pink pie from Trivial Pursuit. So if you're into stuff like movies and music and TV shows and comic books and video games, you're probably listening to the right show. Thanks for checking it out. We've been putting it out every single week now for almost 2 years, going on 2 years. And I gotta stop my little intro. 3 raccoons just ran past my car in my driveway and ran up towards my house. I just want to let all the listeners know that I record the intros to this show in my recording booth, a.k.a. my 2009 Hyundai Sonata with 250,000 miles on it, because it's a good soundproofing kind of a thing in a house full of kids. And 3 raccoons just scared the shit out of me. So I'm going to keep that in and let you guys know what my world is like. This is episode 86 of the show. Thank you so much for checking it out. If it's your first time listening, you have a lot of work to catch up on. You can go back and check out all the other episodes of the show, and all the titles of the show are what the trivia is involved in that episode. So go back and check out, like Scrubs. If you like the TV show Scrubs, a couple of weeks ago, we put out that episode, Scrubs and 90s, 2000s WWE Attitude Era trivia. We've also done stuff like, boy bands and girl groups, stores at the mall, marine biology. The list goes on and on. So check out all the old episodes of the show and check out our mini episodes we put out every Thursday. So every Tuesday is more of a full-length episode. I usually have a guest or two, and they're usually 45 minutes to an hour. And on Thursday, we put out the mini episodes that are 10 to 15 minutes, and they are just trivia-based. And this week's episode is all about arcade games. Our mini episode this Thursday, all about arcade game trivia. So if you like standing up and eating a slice of pizza with one hand and jamming on a joystick with the other hand, you don't want to miss that. That was picked by my Patreon friend, subscriber Earl Clark. So shout out to Earl Clark. If you want to contribute to the show and pick the topics we do for the mini episodes and get a ton of awesome stuff like stickers and posters and artwork and unique items from friends of mine mailed to you monthly, check out patreon.com/trivia with buds, BUDDS, and donate between $1 and $20 to keep this ship sailing, everybody. Shout out to my newest patron, Jess Wojnar. What up, Jess? Thank you so much for your donation recently and for listening to the show. I used to do a feature called the Listener Quiz, where I'd have listeners send me short quizzes to include in each episode. I haven't done it in a while, but my pal Mark Lecker from Chicago emailed me with a quiz and asked if I would like to include it. And I said, hell yeah, Mark, let's do it. So this is a little bonus trivia before the trivia of this episode starts. And it's Mark's quiz on famous seconds. Take it away, Mark.
Hey there, it's Mark Lecker from Chicago. Most trivia is based on firsts or bests, so I wanted to write a listener quiz with a focus on seconds. So here it is. Question number 1. According to Ranker.com, what superhero has had the second most appearances in issues of comics? Question number 1. According to Ranker.com, what superhero has had the second most appearances in issues of comics? Question number 2. What was the second ever WWE, then WWF pay-per-view? Question number 2. What was the second ever WWE, then WWF pay-per-view? Question number 3. The second longest Harry Potter book was Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. How many words long was this book? Was it 178,000 words, 188,000 words, or 198,000 words? Question number 3. The second longest Harry Potter book was Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. How many words long was this book? 178,000, 188,000, or 198,000 words? Question number 4. What major league team has the second longest World Series championship drought? Question number 4. What major league team has the second longest World Series championship drought? Question number 5. What was the second animated movie released by Disney? Question number 5. What was the second animated movie released by Disney? Question number 1. According to Ranker.com, what superhero has had the second most appearances in issues of comics? The answer is Superman, with more than 13,000 appearances in various comics. Question number 2. What was the second ever WWE, then WWF pay-per-view? The answer is the Wrestling Classic, which was on November 7th, 1985. Question number 3. The second longest Harry Potter book was Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. How many words long was this book? Was it 178,000, 188,000, or 198,000? The answer is it was more than 198,000 words. Question number 4. What major league team has the second longest World Series championship drought? The answer is the Texas Rangers with 57 years. Question number 5. What was the second animated movie released by Disney? The answer is Pinocchio in 1940. Thank you very much. I hope everybody has a great day, night, or whenever it is that you're listening to this.
All right. How'd you do on Mark's quiz? Did you nail all of those questions? Let me know how you did in a tweet at Ryan Budds, RyanBudds. I would love to hear how you did. Thanks so much to Mark Lecker for sending in that listener quiz. If you have a listener quiz of your own, think of a topic and record yourself asking 5 questions about it, followed by the answers to those questions, and then anything at the end that you want to plug. Maybe you have a blog, maybe you have your own podcast. Feel free to throw that in there, and I will play it on a future episode. You don't have to get fancy with this either. You could do it with the Voice Memos app on your phone and just email me that file. That is totally good enough for this show. It's now time to dive into the meat of this episode. We've got Jen, we've got Cara, and they are battling in 20 questions on breakfast foods and British TV shows. So get your Doctor Who TARDIS-shaped pancakes ready, and here we go. Sitting here in beautiful North Hollywood, California, in a eccentric apartment. And eccentric, I mean lots of board games, lots of trees that may or may not be alive, and lots of cat stuff. And it's my good friend Jen Wojnar's house. What's up, Jen?
Hi.
Thanks for having me over.
Thanks for coming.
I paid the toll of one breakfast burrito, and here we are.
Yes, burritos. Excellent.
Very good. Jen, I've known you for a number of years now, working in television production around Southern California. Where did we first meet?
We met on Crashleets.
Yeah, a Nickelodeon show called Crashleets Clip Show, and you were brought in as associate producer, and you and I shared an office at first, and it was a fun office. It was one of those offices where everyone had a Nerf gun, which was cool.
We had a Nerf gun. We had pop figures, which I had like 2 before I started, and then I might have had 5 before I started, and then one of our coworkers was like obsessed with them, and then everybody was obsessed with them, and then I have 60.
Oh my God. He did a count recently, and he told me the number, and I was like, it was astronomical compared to the amount of Funko Pop figures I thought he had.
Yeah.
And he goes, I just did this count, and it's way higher than I thought. So, our friend Casey O'Connor, past guest, he's been on the show at least twice. He loves these Funko Pop vinyl figures, and every day he posts a new one. Yeah. He just posted The Shape of Water. Did you see that?
Oh, I saw those,
the merman and the silent lady. And is that how you would describe her, a silent lady?
I actually haven't seen the movie.
Oh, you haven't seen it?
We keep saying we're going to go, and then I don't.
It's a really good movie. I saw it. That was one of the few Oscar contenders that I've seen this year so far. Jen, sitting across from you is an Oscar contending friend, right? She would win the Best Friend Oscar if that was a thing,
That's
right?
fair.
Her name is Cara Rouse. What's up, Cara?
Hey, how's it going?
Cara, you're a freelance editor looking for work right now. So if anyone's listening to this and needs an editor, what are some of your best skills at editing?
Showing up.
Yeah, that's it.
Hey.
Hired. You're hired.
I don't know. Oh, God, I don't know. People always tell me I have a really strong sense of story.
Yeah.
And so I think that's important.
Sure. I think a lot of times people think editor and they go, oh, you just cut stuff up and kind of piece it together, but there's probably a lot more that goes into it than that.
Yeah, definitely. It's, you always start with cutting out the bad bits and keeping the good is like where they say you start. But really it's, I do want a lot of unscripted, which I always say is, in scripted, you get the story first, and in unscripted, you get the story in the edit room after. So it's,
Very good. Now, Cara, you and I were born in the same year, I found out through Facebook.
Oh.
The year of 1985, right? Is that right?
Shh.
Oh, am I not supposed to tell people
I'm
that?
29.
Oh, my mistake.
But
The year of 1995.
Yes.
That's right.
Oh.
I just wanted to point that out because we had such a cool year of movies that year. We had The Breakfast Club. We had the movie Clue. And I think we had Back to the Future. I think those were all 85, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, man. What a great year. Me and Casey actually were talking about doing a kind of a spin-off podcast called 1985, where every year we review a different movie that came out that year. What do you think about that?
Oh, that's fun.
That'd be kind of fun.
I'd be in.
And we do it for a year, so 52 episodes. And some of the movies would be super well-known, like the ones we named, and some might be ones that people have never heard of before. And then the next year we would do maybe Casey's year of birth, if it was a hit. So that's kind of our idea. We'll pitch it on this show and see how it goes. If you're listening to Trivia with Buds and you like that idea, let me know in a tweet, Ryan Buds on social media. You guys have both worked on Dr. Phil.
Yes.
You said that in a very elusive way.
Yes.
Very good. I think that's the end of that bullet point. I think that's it. You both worked on the show, and he has a mustache. We all know that.
That's where we met.
That's how we became friends.
Very good.
I mean, that show is, people love it, and it's hard, I will say that, but ultimately, a good chunk of the people I hang out with now are people I met on that show. Yeah. So it ultimately ended up being a really good thing.
Yeah, it's one of those shows where it's, you're producing so many episodes per year.
Per week, even.
And per week, that it can be a little bit intense when you're in it, but you end up with a lot of really good friends and a lot of really good memories.
Sure.
I was in post, and I remember we decorated the entire downstairs post in inflatable Christmas items.
Yeah.
Love it. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it gives you a lot of good skills, moving forward, too. The pre-production on that show is very intense.
Yeah.
And so, I would go to other shows, and it would be, a third of the intensity, and I'd be like, oh, this is fine.
It's strange how, it's not strange, more unique how whenever you do these jobs, you kind of become like a mini family because you're spending so many hours together. And then, those relationships carry on. Like you just said, everybody at Super Jacket is who I would consider some of my great friends in California. Yeah. Just because you're sitting in an office with them all day and you have to laugh about something,
Yeah. And you don't always get those experiences. So when you do and people are great, because we haven't worked together now in a year and a half or so.
Sure.
It's now you're sitting in my living room. So it's clearly certain things are supposed to work out the way they're supposed to.
Exactly. And what's crazy, you said a year and a half. I feel like we worked together 6 months ago, but it was 18 months ago.
Yeah, we did. Wild. What did we do then?
I have a child.
You have a child now.
I have a new child.
You have a new child. Yeah. And I don't even think your wife was
probably not even pregnant
not even pregnant yet because it was the 90th anniversary of NBC.
That's right. That was the last time. Yeah, very good. Man, what a timeline. Jen, right now you're working with Buna Murray.
I am.
And Buna Murray is a brand that I've seen, at the end of every episode of Full House?
No, everybody gets that wrong, actually. It's really funny because people always assume... I get that question a lot. It's specifically...
What is the name at the end of Full House?
Miller Boyette.
That's so weird because those aren't super similar.
No, but
I guess the B and the M.
But I think what it is Full House. The name of the show is Full House, and Buna Murray's big show was The Real World.
Oh.
And so now they've got all the spin-offs of it, all the challenges and stuff. And so I feel like people hear Full House and think Real World.
Yeah. That's a good point. That's so crazy because I'm I think I've told people before, my friend Jen, she lives in the house from Full House. I just make up facts.
I do actually, yes. It's the commute's a bitch, so I stay in North Hollywood most of the time.
And I hear the rent is $10,000 a month.
No, actually, Miller or Boyette, one of them recently bought the house.
Oh, really? They should turn it into a Full House museum. That'd be kind of cool.
They should definitely do that. But yeah, they bought
an Airbnb.
It's probably what it is. I don't remember what they did with it, but I remember reading an article about it was up for sale.
Yeah.
And the new owners were like frustrated. The people who were going to buy it were like frustrated with like the idea that it was the Full House house. And he was like, cool, I'll just swoop in and buy it.
Wow.
And so now, like they've got the red door and people take pictures and it like doesn't bother him because that's how he made all his money.
I can't wait to do that with the house from Small Wonder. That's
go.
That's gonna be my big goal.
Nice.
The famous house that they never showed in Small Wonder. Jen, the last bullet point I have for you, huge Olympics fan, so I have to mention, since we just ended the 2018 Winter Olympics in Pyeongchang. What did you think of the Olympics this year? Out of 10, what would you rate them?
Probably an 8.
8 out of 10.
I love
the technical or the creative.
No, both.
Hey,
I had to go both.
there you go.
It was
boom.
The Olympics get a lot of crap from like people who don't work in TV.
Sure.
Because they've always got, well, why isn't everything live? And then NBC made everything live, and they're like, well, why isn't everything in prime time? And why is there this and why is there that? And I was like, okay, but like I've been there. Like I've been to the Olympics with NBC. So I know what goes on behind the scenes, and those people are nuts.
Yeah.
Like they're nuts, like in the best way. Like you're exhausted, you're doing what you can.
Yeah.
To get everything done on time, and like there's things you can't control. So like when they cancel multiple skiing events, they've got to put something else on in that time.
Yeah.
And that happened a couple times with this Olympics, and there was always something to fill in.
Of course.
There was always stuff like going on and people talking, and it was a little sad to not see Bob Costas because he retired at the end of
I read
London.
that. I think I asked that at a trivia night this month. Yeah, that was kind of sad.
Yeah, he was done Rio. He was done in Rio, and so like that was a little sad. But there was a lot of unexpected wins, which is always like the best part because you could be the best athlete in the world, but it doesn't matter because it's one day.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of that. Women's hockey won a gold medal for the first time in 20 years.
Yep.
Like
Shaun White, 100th medal.
Shaun White, 100th medal for the U.S.
Very good. If you want some more Winter Olympics trivia, go back just 1 week to our mini episode from last Thursday. We asked 15 questions on the Winter Olympics. How'd you do on that? You told me, you texted me, you got 12 out of 15?
Something like that, yeah.
Very good.
Yep.
All right, Jen, let's see how many you get out of one of these categories. Here are your 5 categories for today's episode of the show. The 5 that you gave me, Jen, we'll start with yours, then we'll move on to Cara's. The first one, Jen, you gave me Buffy. I'm assuming that's the Vampire Slayer.
No, it's actually Buffy from Buffy and Jody.
Buffy and Jody?
No, which is a show from like the 80s, I think. No, it's definitely Buffy. I love her. She's my first foray into nerddom.
You've seen every episode? Have you?
I've seen every episode multiple times, and I can name all 144 episodes of Buffy.
Oh my God. How about, have you read where the series continued in graphic novel form?
I did for a little while, and then it kind of lost me.
Yeah.
Like, they went, like, I guess Whedon was involved for part of it, and I give them credit for, like, trying things that they probably wouldn't have been able to get away with on the show.
Yeah.
And then, like, they killed off one of the main characters and brought him back as a little boy, and, like, after that point, it, like, really lost me. I didn't say who it was.
Yeah. Do they still make those, like, continued?
They do, and I guess Whedon, because he's been, like, not around recently, is going back to it this fall.
Oh, interesting.
And so I'm like, well, and now I'm like super more into comic books anyway, so I'm like, well, I mean, I feel like this is something I'll pick up, but
in the same realm of comic book nerdery, you are a big fan of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I am. I can't explain it.
You had an Agent Coulson in his car, pop vinyl on your desk, which was very cool.
Yeah, Cara actually bought me that for Christmas.
That's a good friend, Cara.
Because she's a good friend. Yeah,
very good.
I didn't watch the show when it started. I watched the pilot and I thought, oh, this show looks expensive and ABC's never going to keep up with this.
Yeah.
And then like I watched the first 11 minutes of the second episode and I was like, oh, I'm not going to keep up with this. And then Winter Soldier came out and it like was the first time it really sort of tied in. Like they blew up the whole concept of S.H.I.E.L.D. in Winter Soldier. Yeah. Spoiler alert, but I guess it's been a few years.
Yeah.
And that movie like really hooked me into the whole MCU and I was like, I'm going to go back and watch S.H.I.E.L.D. And then to make a very long story short, my roommate at the time was a crazy Tea Party Republican and like taking over the living room watching Fox News. And I was like, I'm going to sit in my room and watch Netflix, and like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. popped up. And the first season, actually, once you get past like the first couple episodes, like it ends up being pretty. So like then it's just all downhill there. And I have a weird crush on Clark Gregg. So
there you go. That's perfect. Our friend, mutual friend from Super Jacket, Brian Wilkerson, works on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. right now.
Yeah, no, he does. That's pretty awesome.
Takes a lot of cool cast pictures and things like that.
Yeah,
so
that's
shout
fun.
out to B. Wilkerson, who I'm waiting to get on the show as well.
You go.
Your next topic, the Winter Olympics. We just talked about your love for that, so you'd probably dominate if we chose that again for 2 weeks in a row, which you never know. I've never done that on the show, but maybe we'll do it. The next thing you said was even more specific, Winter Olympic or winter sports movies.
Yeah.
Would that be like Cool Runnings?
Cool Runnings.
Is that the only one?
No.
How many are there? Oh, Miracle.
Miracle, but like The Cutting Edge isn't like based off a true story, but that's the Olympics. I would even go out on a limb and say like Mighty Ducks 2 is kind of Winter Olympic.
They play Iceland, right?
They play Iceland at like the Junior Olympics or Junior Goodwill Games.
That's right. We could do a whole round on that. That's interesting.
Yeah, so I guess we're not, but but yeah, like that's kind of like I could do all of those movies.
Love it. And your last topic, and I brought you one of these things today, breakfast foods.
I love breakfast.
What if it was just 12 questions on burritos? What would you do?
I mean, I feel like I don't know if I know burrito history, but like I love breakfast. Like anytime someone's like, "What do you want for breakfast, lunch, or dinner?" Or like, "Where should we go?" I'm like, "I don't know. Let's get breakfast." And
this isn't breakfasty, but did you see that they're making a movie about the guy who created Flamin' Hot Cheetos?
I did. I can't understand that, but okay.
Well, it's going to be, I think, kind of one of those, like, do you remember the movie where Greg Kinnear plays, like, the guy who invented the windshield wiper?
Oh, my God. I love that movie.
That's a good movie.
Lauren Graham.
It's a really good movie. Yeah. So I think it's going to be like that, but it's about, because the guy was a janitor, and it was in Rancho Cucamonga, which is right by my house, and he worked at the Frito-Lay factory, and, like, somehow he poured some spices into regular Cheetos or something. You know what I mean? So
now, did Ford try to steal his idea and patent it as their own?
So, maybe. We'll find out.
Yeah. And now he's like, who knew? And it'll be...
So one of those 5 topics will be yours, Jen. We'll talk about which one it is in just a second. Cara, here are your topics. The first one, Doctor Who from 2005.
Well, 2005 Beyond, the new reboot.
Oh, very good. So it's 2005, the first Billy Piper season?
Yes.
Okay. That's actually the only Doctor Who I've ever seen in my life. I think like maybe the first 4 episodes of whatever that was. And I liked it, but I just never, it's one of those things where I put a pin in it. You know what I mean?
You have to get past like the first 4 or 5 episodes because they didn't have a lot of money.
You could tell,
to reboot it. And they also were trying to keep the kitsch of the original series, which had really awful. And this is why I don't do the original series is I can't get
Racism?
past. No, I can't get past the graphics and the special effects.
I was going to say it was kind of racist back in the like the original ones, right? Like, isn't it like?
Yeah,
it could be sometimes, right?
Yeah.
The newest ones have like high budget, right? They're like pretty well done.
They have much higher budget. They also kind of figured out the right level between kitsch and like you know graphics.
There you go. Very good. Doctor Who. I got to definitely go back and watch some more of those. Your next topic, post-production. We kind of talked about you being an editor. We talked about working on all these companies we've worked for. And what's like let's say the coolest job you've had on paper you think to tell people about?
Probably my 2 favorite jobs were OSIT, which for those who don't remember was a extreme musical chairs game show.
Okay. What network was that on?
That was on the CW.
Okay.
I still actually have my set production badge, even though I never went on set.
Oh, and it was a play on the phrase, oh shit, right?
No, it was musical chairs, so it was oh sit. So like I guess maybe, but it was more like it had a live musical band there. So like
that's
that was
cool.
a challenge.
I've been doing some live band karaoke lately. Have you ever done that? Where
but we should definitely.
We've
talked about doing
it's like karaoke, but the band has like, let's say 200 or 300 songs that they know how to play. And then you're like the lead singer of the band. So I've seen it advertised before and I'm like, that sounds kind of cool. And I'm not like a singer, but if a band is kind of backing you up, it kind of turns into more of like a performance. And I'm like, I could kind of muster my way through that. So I actually did all these things that I've done by the Killers.
Nice.
And I had Annabelle in my arms, which was good for her to be in front of a crowd and like have people like kind of cheering you on, and also good for me because I'm like, I have this baby prop in case I suck. You know what I mean? So that was pretty fun. That was at Last Name Brewing out in Upland, California, and they're actually doing it. Or no, they did it last night. They did it Friday night.
Oh wow.
So, Small World. But that sounds like a cool show. Oh, sit. I'll have to look that up.
Yeah.
Your next topic was just, in general, food. Just know some stuff about food.
I was really hungry when I was doing these. And also, like I said, as I was trying to come up with things I know a lot about, I realized I know a little bit about a lot of things.
Yeah. That's how a lot of people think about it. Yeah.
And so I was like, well, food, I guess.
Do you watch a lot of Food Network shows?
I watch a fair amount. And I watch a lot of those tasty videos.
Yeah.
And Tastemade and what's the other one?
Yummy.
Oh, yummy. Yeah.
Yummy.
I've been watching a lot of these. Have you seen these videos that are like soothing, like relaxation, weird stuff where it's like cakes getting iced at a factory and stuff like that?
I'm weirdly obsessed with those on Instagram.
Or like, have you seen the ones people fill up stuff with balloons and cut them open and then they like ooze out?
Yeah, the
like
slime
weird.
ones. Those are two. But yeah, like the cake icing or making a cake.
Yeah.
I always get mad if they cut off before they finish decorating the cake, though, because I'm OCD.
Most nights, my daughter asks my wife to watch a squish video, which is what she calls, and I think other people may call it too, like those slime videos where they kind of like, they take it out and then they like, they're trying to sell it, I imagine. Because a lot of these slime videos, they're selling the slime. So they open it from the canister and they spread it out and they'll like push it and they'll fold it up and show you all the different things that it looks like. And so that like literally makes her fall asleep. And it's like, I'm like, is this like a weird thing for her to be watching, like
what do they call that
squish
though?
videos?
It's like there's a whole genre of it.
Yeah.
And it's like it's supposed to like tap into like a subconscious rhythm or something.
Yeah.
That helps you relax.
I definitely have gone to YouTube before for like weird high videos where it's like, what's a good high video to fall asleep to? And it's just like a 80s landscape where you're like in a video game running through a field type stuff. And I'm like, this is trippy. So I highly suggest everybody tries that. Your next topic, British television shows. Oh. And you put, I watch a lot of Big Fat Quiz, which is a big game show over there, right?
Yeah, Big Fat Quiz of Everything. It's a panel game show, and it's like 3 teams of 2.
Yeah.
And then, oh my God, I am blanking on the host's name.
Sure.
But it's really funny. It's all on YouTube. I mean, you shouldn't watch things on YouTube that are aired, but we don't get Channel 4 over here.
There you go.
That's really like, is that my fault? No.
What are some of your other favorite British TV shows? Maybe more scripted stuff? Or?
Downton Abbey, of course, was a big one.
Yeah.
I just finished, or I'm up to date with the American side of Call the Midwife.
Yeah.
So, like, there's a new season that's aired.
Sure.
But it doesn't air here until April.
Yeah. There's probably a stripper named Downtown Abby somewhere, right in LA? Like, Downtown Abby, and she starts off very dignified, and then she gets real raunchy.
The character of Matthew, played by Dan Stevens.
Yeah.
He did a movie after Downton Abbey, and he got real buff for it. And when I saw the trailer, I was like, I'd go Downton on his Abbey.
Hey, there you go.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, actually, that is my stripper name.
I'm going to have to make this the R-rated episode. Maybe NC-17. It's
I tend to work a little blue.
Steamy. Yeah. Very good. British TV shows. Your next thing was, let's see, this is your very last bullet point. You just put miscellaneous, and then you put, I know a little about a lot of things, like you just mentioned. I don't know the names of actors who play characters most of the time. It's my downfall. So what if I told you that the next, your topic was the names of actors who play characters?
I would just be quiet or do a little dance, which no one could see because it's not video.
I love that you put miscellaneous in almost 90 episodes of the show. No one's ever just put like, whatever. Like usually they're always, I tell them to give me 5 specific things, so that's probably why, but that's pretty good.
Well, I had to go make a sandwich.
And you're a rebel.
Very good.
And I am a rebel.
A rebel sandwich maker. Here is what I chose for each of you. You guys ready for the big reveal? Jen, I chose breakfast foods.
Yes!
And Cara, I chose British TV shows.
Yes!
It's breakfast foods, a couple of B's. A couple of B's with a couple of B's. Breakfast foods and British
accurate.
TV shows. Those are the topics we're going to do today. 10 questions on each of those. And right now, we're going to come up with a buzz-in word, something between the two of you, 1 or 2 syllables that you'll use to buzz in to answer the questions. Anything that stands out? What's your cat's name?
Hedwig.
Hedwig's not bad. Anything like that, or maybe that?
Flagstaff.
Flagstaff?
Not for me.
Not for you. Okay. Anything at all? 1 or 2 syllables, something fun.
You're on my phone as Dollface.
Dollface?
Randomly. From like a Dr. Phil inside joke.
I like that. Does Dr. Phil have a weird 1-syllable catchphrase? What does he always say?
No.
Talk about it. Or what does he like? Doesn't he?
This
Therapist?
is like back at parties when you actually worked there and everyone was like, oh, do you have a Dr. Phil impression? And you're like,
No.
I mean, yes, but no.
Yeah. No.
I think Hedwig's pretty good. You done with that?
Will
Will he freak out?
No, she'll be good.
She'll be good. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, so Hedwig is your buzzing word, homage to Harry Potter. And you guys will wait for the whole question to be read so people can kind of play along who are listening at home. And we'll start with Jen's topic of breakfast foods. You guys ready?
Yeah.
So wait for the whole question to be read. You're buzzing in with Hedwig, and you get 1 point when you get your topic right, 2 points if you can steal the other person's or get it after they miss it. You only get to answer each question one time. Here's breakfast foods. Either of you can answer. Question number 1. This is the Trivia Showdown.
Trivia Showdown.
Question 1 for breakfast foods. What cereal used the slogan, follow your nose? What cereal used the slogan, follow your nose?
Hedwig.
Cara.
Is it Cookie Crisp?
It is not Cookie Crisp, but good guess. Jen, do you have a chance right here to get your 1 point for this your topic question? What cereal used the slogan, follow your nose?
It was like honeycomb?
Incorrect. It was Fruit Loops, the toucan, the giant toucan.
Yeah.
Follow
Yeah,
your
he had a big
nose.
nose.
Follow your nose. No points there off the bat on Jen's topic of breakfast foods. Let's see what we can do with Cara's topic of British TV shows. Here's number 1. The actor who played Watson on Sherlock was most recently seen in what Marvel film?
Hedwig.
Cara.
Black Panther.
Black Panther is correct. What's that actor's name?
Martin Freeman.
Oh,
Martin
you do know,
Freeman.
yeah.
That's
Damn it,
right.
I forgot that
And
I could answer
I haven't
too.
seen Black Panther, but I saw him predominantly in the trailers when they first started coming out.
Yeah.
So that's very good.
It's excellent. I've seen it 3 times. You should go.
I've seen
I
it
know.
twice.
Do you think a 3-year-old would be too freaked out? Do you think she'd see it? Because she's been asking, can we see Black Panther? Because we saw him at Disney yesterday. You know what I mean?
I think it would be okay.
Maybe I'll see it first, and then
Yeah.
I'll decide.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll take her after.
Because there are 2 fight scenes.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, like 2 major fight scenes.
I gotcha.
That might be a little bit intense.
But
Well, she loved 3 boards outside. I mean,
Well, then she's great. She's going to love this movie.
she would.
her
love
favorite
it.
movie is actually Apocalypse Now. So
Yeah.
really,
No, it's actually 500 Blows. We talked about it.
Oh boy. Here's 1
That
point
movie
for
is not
Cara.
what you think it's about.
I figured it was not.
500 blows. #Downtown Abbey. Here is the next question. This is breakfast foods number 2. Cara has 1 point for getting her British TV show question right. Question number 2 for breakfast TV foods. Jimmy Dean was a singer and a breakfast sausage entrepreneur. What genre of music did he sing? Jimmy Dean was a singer and breakfast sausage entrepreneur. What genre of music did he sing?
Hedwig?
Jen.
Folk?
I'm going to say incorrect. Cara?
Country?
It is country. Country music singer Jimmy Dean, and that is 2 points for Cara. It is 3-0. Have you ever had a Jimmy Dean breakfast sandwich?
Yeah,
Jen?
I
Right?
enjoy the Jimmy Dean and the breakfast bowl.
Did you know he was a big singer, or I thought it was just one of those names they just threw on there? You know?
It's one of those things where it's like, now that you've said that, I'm like, oh yeah, somewhere in the back of my brain, that's
Yeah.
probably something that I knew.
I constantly question like these product spokeswomen, women and men. So I was like, I was actually at work at Super Jacket, and I had a bag of Miss Vicky's cookies, and it was like,
yeah.
Miss Vicky puts every batch into her consideration. I'm like, she don't make shit. You know what I mean? So I looked her up, straight up a real person who's like not even that old. She's like, I think 65 or 70, and she made these famous kettle cooked chips, and then they got popular, and then they turned it into a brand. So she's like a real person that's still alive.
You should look up Famous Amos.
Yeah.
He's got like...
Wally Amos.
Yeah.
Is he real, you think?
No, he is real.
He is
He
real, yeah.
also was like, I think, involved with like World War II or something.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, actually, I have looked him up. He has a lot of cool headshots.
Yeah.
With, like him and like cookies in the 60s and stuff.
Yeah, he had
like-
like 6 other careers before
Yeah.
he made cookies.
Yeah, and like Mrs. Fields is like fairly young. I feel like there was a Lifetime movie or
Yeah.
Hallmark movie about her.
Yeah. That's going to be me. I'm going to start branching out to other things.
Oh.
I'm thinking about having some kind of beer that's trivia based, where there's
that's
some sort of
fun.
trivia element that comes on the can or the box or something like that. So I'll
What
put a
ki-
pin in that, and
Oh,
we'll come
yeah.
back to it.
What kind of beer?
I like like lagers, pilsners, Heffenweisen, so lighter stuff, clearer stuff, if that makes sense. So it's probably something like that you could probably drink more of, if that makes sense.
Ah, yes.
Here we go. Question number 2 for British TV shows. What year did the British Office series premiere? You guys are taking careful consideration on these questions, which I kind of like. It's a little slower pace.
Hedwig?
Jen,
1998?
98 is a great guess, but incorrect. Cara,
2001?
2001 is 100% correct. Oh my gosh. Nice
I
job,
am
Cara.
getting my butt kicked
She
over
knows
here.
her British
Domination.
TV shows. It's 4-0. Jen's going to come back on this one. She's going to nail this one. I can tell Here it is, number 3, breakfast foods. What restaurant is known as America's Diner, always open?
Hedwig.
Jen.
Denny's.
Denny's is correct. That's 1 point. She's on the board. It's not a wash. You feel good,
it's
right?
okay. I got 1 point. It's fine.
And also, we had those burritos.
And I got a burrito, so I'm like real happy.
That's why I showed up, honestly, was the burrito. Beating you would just be a added bonus.
Do you guys like Denny's? Do you ever sit down at a Denny's still?
I haven't been to a Denny's in a long time.
Drunk me really liked Denny's for a while.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
There was, I feel like I used to go to Denny's all the time.
Build your own Grand Slam.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
bad. I like a
I can't
Denny's every
remember
once
the
in a
last time
while.
I've been to a Denny's.
You know what I like? I like diners where you could sit at the counter and
Oh,
then
yeah.
like
Yeah.
some old dude starts talking to you next to you.
Yeah.
I've been talking to a lot of older dudes lately. I was at Portillo's in Buena
Portillo's.
Park, which is a great Chicago hot dog place. And the guy next to me said, "This is one of the best sandwiches I've ever had." And when he said sandwich, I was like, "That's how I say sandwich." He must be from Chicago. So I'm like, "Are you from Chicago?" And he was. And
Nice.
we talked. And then he pointed out at Portillo's, they have like a lot of mobsters and stuff on the wall.
Of course.
Yeah.
From Chicago. And then he pointed at that frame next to us. He goes, "See that guy and that guy?" I go, "Yeah." And this guy was probably 80-something.
Right.
He goes, "That's my friend's dad and my friend's godfather growing up on the south side of Chicago." I was like,
Nice.
holy cow.
Awesome.
So that was pretty cool.
I'm pretty sure that the Buena Park Portillo's is only frequented by Chicago transplants.
You're probably right. Yeah. We all drive down there like
Yeah.
every 2 months, and it's worth it.
Yeah.
I feel like both of you guys are from Chicago and both of you are my friends, and I have never been there.
You're from Chicago?
Well, I went to Columbia in Chicago. I
Sure.
grew up in what I like to call the east suburbs of Chicago, also
town?
known as Kalamazoo.
Oh, okay. Very good. So you
Yeah.
were born in Michigan.
Born in Michigan,
Yeah.
and then I
Went to Columbia.
Yeah, made the
Very
very,
good.
wise choice to leave and go to Chicago.
There you go. Yeah, Michigan to Chicago. I love that movie. Here is number 3, right? Yeah, number
Yeah.
3 for British TV shows. Let's see who gets this one. Who is the male judge on the Great British Baking Show?
Hedwig,
Cara.
Paul Hollywood.
Paul Hollywood is
Damn
correct,
it.
and that is her 5th point, 5-1. Cara beating Jen by 4.
Technically, that's not
But is that not the case anymore?
not anymore. No, I think he's gone now.
Is he? Because I looked it up and I thought that he was maybe gone. But let's
because
pretend I said for most
Noel
of the
Fielding
show.
is
Yeah.
a host now on it, but he's not a judge. But I don't
Gotcha.
remember if Paul Hollywood. Sorry, I just
No,
know
you're
that.
fine. Yeah,
Had a
Paul was
stroke.
what I was looking for,
I
but I
watched that
probably
show
should
and
have
I'm
worded it a little bit clearer. But I love that show. That's like one of my favorite shows to
It's
fall asleep to.
soothing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I was gonna
It's a
say.
soothing
And
show.
technically, that's only in the current British airing. Right now, to us, he's still the host.
Yeah, there you go.
Or the judge.
Here we go. Question number 4 for breakfast foods. What's a fancier name for a French toasted ham and cheese sandwich?
Hedwig.
Cara.
Monte Cristo.
It is a Monte Cristo, 2 points, 7-1. And Jen and Cara are having quite the battle here. Jen, you usually kind of dominate, I feel like, when you come to my trivia nights.
I know.
And you
think
play along with the podcast a lot.
I do play. I yell things out of my office sometimes.
And now it's different when you're behind the mic.
It's different when I'm behind the mic, and like I guess I don't know as much about breakfast as I thought.
Also, I'm usually on Jen's team at trivia.
Damn. Damn. She just said she does all the answering.
I did not. I just said that usually it's a team effort.
It was implied.
Here's question number 4 for British TV shows. Who played a title character named Luther?
Oh,
Who played a
Hedwig.
Cara.
Idris Elba?
Idris Elba is correct, and that is 8-1. 8-1. Idris Elba. Have you guys, either of you seen that show?
I have actually. And I was like,
I've
I can't
seen
remember
the
his
pilot, but
I
I
hear it's
haven't
pretty
gotten
cool.
past it yet. 'Cause-
Very good. Idris Elba. Question number 5 for breakfast foods. 71% of the world's pure maple syrup hails from what country?
name. Hedwig.
Jen.
Canada.
Canada is correct. 2 points.
There's
Jen
a
coming back.
documentary about the maple syrup industry in Canada and how basically like I just saw it posted somewhere, so I'm gonna have to watch it on Netflix. But basically, like how it's almost akin to like the oil companies and like
Really?
the weird scare tactics, and like how if you are an independent maple syrup maker, you're basically screwed.
Wow.
Like it's crazy. So I'm very
And
excited.
why
to
are
watch
they
that.
so good at? They just constantly are planting maple trees over and over and over again, like in crazy amounts of space.
No idea,
I
but
think
it's
they have a lot of trees in Canada.
I gotta check out this documentary. Is it called A Sticky Situation? Hey,
it should be, but I think it's called like maple or something, like something like very simple.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, if you like maple syrup documentary,
what syrup did you grow up using as a kid? I had Log Cabin. That was all we had in my house.
I think we had not Aunt Jemima. What was the one that came in like maybe it was
Mrs.
Aunt Jemima.
Buttersworth?
Oh, yeah, Mrs. Buttersworth.
Mm-hmm.
We had what was ever on sale at Meijer.
That's also probably true. I also don't really like syrup.
Really? We fly through syrup at my house because we have 4 people eating it. So, like, if we have a stack of pancakes, the bottle, like, half of it's gone every time we make pancakes. And sometimes we do it, like, 2 weekends in a row. So sometimes we buy syrup, like, once a month. And I'm like, this is a problem, I think. But people in Canada are just like, yes, more.
more. Yeah, no, I don't.
Interesting.
I really like syrup. I can't remember the last time I bought syrup.
I have a cousin who puts clear Cara syrup on pancakes.
Oh, no.
Isn't that the worst thing you ever heard in your life?
That sounds like it might just kill you.
Sure. Yeah. I think it looks like paper mache. It's disgusting.
Oh, God.
Here's question number 5 for British TV shows. What British show has been running since 1963 but has 97 missing episodes?
Hedwig.
Cara.
Sorry. Doctor Who.
Doctor Who. That was my way of working that Doctor Who in.
Missing episodes?
There's 97 missing episodes because back in the 60s and 70s, they would reuse the footage because it was cheaper.
Yeah.
And that happened a lot in American television as well.
That's actually why Power Rangers is a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you also, they will find episodes from time to time, and they're usually like in Africa because you were supposed to send the episodes back to BBC.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't because it was too expensive, and BBC just kind of didn't care. There were also several writer strikes and other labor strikes that also caused episodes to not be finished.
So are those like worth a lot of money when people find the original ones? Probably.
They are and they aren't. Most people are pretty, like, from what I know, pretty good about like giving it back so that other people can see it because it's usually you find it in a closet.
Yeah. Interesting.
Just a closet in Africa?
Yeah, just
one of those
an old
African
television
closets.
station closet.
Oh, that makes way more sense. They're just like someone like opens up their door and they're like, oh, Grandpa had this like collection of Doctor Who.
Cara's got 9. Jen's got 2. Let's see if she could bounce back with another breakfast trivia question. Here is number 6. What are the 2 main vegetables in a Denver omelet?
Oh, Hedwig.
Jen.
Pepper and mushroom?
I'll give you another guess. Not mushroom. Another vegetable. Anything?
Broccoli?
No.
No?
Cara, anything?
Potato?
No. It was peppers and onions.
Oh, onions.
Peppers and
I always forget
onions.
that that's a vegetable.
Yeah.
That's not true. I mean, I know it's a vegetable, but I always forget like it's
Sure.
It's always the thing I add for flavor, not so much veggie content.
It is kind of hard because you don't think about just eating an onion. You know, like straight
no.
up. All right, so no points there. We're jumping back to British TV shows. Number 6, where could you watch the British drama called The Crown?
Hedwig.
Cara.
Netflix.
Netflix is right, and that's 10 points for Cara, 10-2, winning by 8, but there's still lots of chances for Jen to get some points. The Crown, have you seen it?
Yes.
It's pretty great? Oh, it's good, huh?
So good.
So good. All right, question number 7 for breakfast foods. What brand of yogurt did Jamie Lee Curtis do commercials for?
Hedwig.
Jen.
Activia.
Activia is correct, and that is her 3rd point. Nice job, Jen. You ever have Activia?
Yeah, I mean, it's...
Do they still make it?
I think
Yeah.
so. They also make cheese now.
I think she's, or maybe not she, but I think they're in a lawsuit of some kind because it claimed to do things that it didn't or something.
Yeah, they're like, oh, it's supposed to help digestion, but in order for it to help digestion, you'd have to eat like
A 1,000.
case of it a day or something ridiculous like that, and it's like, sure.
Yeah,
No.
which Jamie Lee Curtis does. I'm pretty sure she does.
I mean,
right?
that's why she looks as good as she does.
that yogurt skin. Your next topic, yogurt skin sounds disgusting.
It really does.
Your next topic, or next question for British TV shows coming up right now. Number 7, who is the top billed actor for a show called Peaky Blinders? Top billed actor for Peaky Blinders. You guys are thinking it over, staring at each other, trying to figure it out. Who is the top billed actor for Peaky
I
Blinders?
can see him in my head because I've seen the show a few times, and I'm just, you know.
No,
Any
I know
guesses?
his name, but I can't verbalize his name right
Sure.
now. But it's 2 words, first and
Yes, well done.
last.
Any guesses?
Jude Law?
Jude Law, good guess. Incorrect, Jen. Anything?
Jude Law.
Jude Law. It was Cillian Murphy.
Oh, yeah.
Or Killian, maybe?
Oh,
Killian
that
Murphy?
guy.
Yeah.
Killian Murphy.
He's the guy who played the Scarecrow, right?
He was the Scarecrow.
Yeah, that
and he was
guy.
in that movie Red Eye with Rachel McAdams.
He's got a scary face.
He does have a very scary face. I
have
would
to
not want to peeky his blinder.
I have to say I've fallen asleep to trying to watch Peaky Blinders
Yeah.
more times than I care to admit.
Yeah, there you go.
I just
I did
have-
the same thing. I tried watching the pilot a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, this is going to be a whole can of worms to open a new show like this. And I just didn't keep watching it. But I hear it's great. I hear
it's amazing. I just keep having a hard time.
Here's the next question. One of my favorites of this episode, I think. Here's number 8 for breakfast foods. In what 80s movie does one relative make their younger relative a giant pancake you have to flip with a snow shovel? Number 8. In what 80s movie would one relative make their younger relative a giant pancake you have to flip with a snow shovel? What do you think about that? Any guesses there? Do you guys have this scene in your head, kind of?
Hedwig?
Cara?
Don't tell Mom the babysitter's dead.
That's a good guess. That is I think, a 90s movie, but incorrect. Jen? Snow shovel pancake.
National Lampoon's Family Vacation? Summer Vacation?
Also kind of close. I think the same writer. Uncle Buck was the movie. And I said one relative and a younger relative because I couldn't, it's kind of alluding to Uncle. Uncle Buck, John Candy, great scene in a movie. My sister, if she's listening, would be really mad that you guys didn't get that because she loves that movie.
I think it's one of those movies where like I know it's an 80s classic.
Sure, yeah.
And like I know I've seen it.
Yeah.
But it's not one of the 80s classics that I like revisit.
Sure, of course. Question number 8 for British TV shows. Fawlty Towers was a comedy about the running of what kind of business? Fawlty Towers was a comedy about the running of what kind of business? It's a great show, too. Only 12 total episodes.
Hedwig?
Cara?
Is it a phone company?
It's not a phone company. Jen?
I'm going to say like laundry or something, right?
Not laundry. It is a hotel.
Oh, that would make sense because of the towers.
Towers. Yes, that's right. The great John Cleese, who watched me do stand-up one time. Isn't that kind of cool to be like, he saw me do my set? And his daughter, Camilla Cleese, is a friend of mine, and she was in a contest, and we were the top 3 in that contest. And I think that contest was the Sharknado contest, which is crazy.
Nice.
Which is nuts. To bring it all full circle. Here's number 9. A couple more questions for breakfast foods and British TV shows. Number 9. What was the main baker's name who was the mascot for Cinnamon Toast Crunch? That baker had a name. They don't really use, I don't think they use this person anymore, this character, but in the 80s and 90s, kind of more popular.
Now the Cinnamon Toast Crunch eats itself, and it's very weird.
Yeah, it has a face, right?
Yeah, and then it eats other Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Do you remember the baker? There used to be 3.
I do.
It was kind of like the Snap, Crackle, and Pop idea. But then they limited it down to 1. And what was that baker's name?
Steve.
Steve, says Jen. Incorrect, Cara?
Chef Cinnamon.
Oh, that would be good, like Chef Cinnamon or something.
Yeah, there you go.
His name was Wendell the baker.
Oh,
that's a horrible name. Who's marketing that? I need to talk to them.
The only other Wendell I know is my Uncle Wendell. You know what I mean?
There was a Wendell on Bones, and that's the only time I think I've ever heard that name.
The restaurant I grew up working in, our chef's name was Wendell.
There you go, Chef Wendell. See, they know how to cook.
Chef Wendell.
Yeah, but he didn't make Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Or did he?
Or did he in his spare time?
I mean, we were close to Battle Creek, but not that close.
Oh, that's true.
Number 9 for British TV shows. The song Flagpole Sitta by Harvey Danger is the theme song to what British comedy?
Hedwig.
Jen.
Behaving Badly.
Incorrect. This is like my favorite TV show.
Oh, my God.
I watch it constantly. It kind of replaced Seinfeld for me in the rotation of like when I just want to watch something that makes me really laugh. Flagpole Sitta, Harvey Danger, theme song to what British comedy?
Oh my God, it's
Is it? This is wrong.
Yeah,
but IT Crowd?
Not IT Crowd, but that's a good guess. It's kind of like in that realm. It was Peep Show. The show Peep Show. I don't know if you guys have seen that.
I haven't gotten to that yet.
Yeah, it's 9 seasons. They're like 6 episodes each season. It's I love it. It's like just one of those things. I always kind of forgot what happened on each episode when I watch it because it's so like those British shows. They're so like mundane sometimes that you kind of like forget how funny the scene is like years later. But yeah, that's one of my favorites and a great theme song to that show. Number 10. Last question for breakfast foods. Last chance for Jen or Cara to nail a breakfast foods question. Number 10. What's the main ingredient in porridge?
Hedwig.
Jen.
Oats?
Yeah. Oats, oatmeal, grain, anything like that. Well done. And that is 4 points for Jen.
Yes, 4 points.
4 to 10 right now. There's still a couple chances for her to come back. Maybe she can steal this last one for the last possible steal. This would be cool. Number 10 for British TV shows. Catastrophe was an Amazon original series starring what Twitter famous comedian? Catastrophe was an Amazon original series starring what Twitter famous comedian?
Hedwig?
Jen.
Jenna Marbles?
Not Jenna Marbles. Cara, any guesses?
can see both of them, but I can't remember their names. I told you this was my downfall.
That's right. It was Rob Delaney is the Twitter comedian. And I forget the gal's name, but she's the British one, and it takes place over there, and they have a kid, like, from a one-night stand.
Yeah, and isn't Matt LeBlanc that's the other thing. That's us.
Episodes,
yeah.
That's right. But yeah, no points there. So it's 10-4. Jen still has a chance to get some points. What'd you guys think? Were those too hard or a good mix?
No, I think it was a good mix. I just think that's like one of those things where it's like, I'm like, oh, breakfast foods is like a thing I know about. But then you're like, oh, that's not really like a...
You don't really have a lot of retained information.
I mean, I'm pretty happy with my performance.
Yeah, you did well.
Well done. Cara is gloating. Here is...
I'm not gloating. I'm just smiling.
There it is. Round number 2. This is called the combo question.
Combo question.
Now, this is going to combine both topics of breakfast foods and British TV shows. So let's see how we did that. 2 points if you get it. You're buzzing in again with Hedwig like normal. 2-point question. Here it is. Toast is a type of breakfast food, right? All right.
Yes.
We got that down. Toast is a type of breakfast food. What actor stars in a British TV show called Toast of London? You guys look very scared. Toast is a type of breakfast food. What actor stars in a British TV show called Toast of London? This was also a show I binged recently and loved. Really fun. 3 seasons.
Tall, skinny guy with glasses?
It is not. Any guesses here? I'll give you the hint because you both look lost. He was on the IT Crowd. Oh,
fuck. I know who it is.
Any guesses?
I can't think of his name. Oh.
Thinking it over?
I didn't realize the IT Crowd was British.
Oh, boy.
We'll have to have that talk later.
It's just one of those, oh, it's that guy.
Any guesses?
The guy with the curly hair?
No.
Then I got nothing.
It's their boss on the IT Crowd. His name's Matt Berry. Matt Berry is a guy who plays Stephen Toast on the Toast of London. He's kind of like a washed-up actor. Really funny show. Highly suggest everybody listening watches Toast of London. So right now it's still 10-4, and we have one more thing to do. This is called Categories with Buds.
Categories with Buds.
So I'm going to play with you guys. I'll give you a category. We'll go in a circle. It'll start with me, then go to Cara, then Jen, back to me. If you can name one in like 5 seconds, you're still in. If you can't think of one, you're eliminated. And the category is celebrities that start with the letter M. So it could be any celebrity, as long as we all know them, starts with M. Oh, yeah, you're tough with names, Cara. So let's see what happens. The winner of this gets 3 points. If I win, I'll award the points to, let's be honest, Jen. Here we go. This is celebrities that begin with M. I'm going to kick it off with Marilyn Manson.
Martin Freeman.
Marilyn Monroe.
Martin Sheen.
Morgan Freeman.
Ming Na.
Who's that?
It's...
Olympian?
No. It's the woman who plays May on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. She used to be on ER.
Okay, very good. I'm going to say, oh boy. Oh no. Oh God. Mr. Rogers. How's that?
Moby.
Oh yeah, my favorite DJ of all time. Porcelain.
Michael Douglas.
Yeah, Michael Douglas. I'm going to say Manny Fresh, who is a rapper.
Master P.
Oh, another rapper.
Michelle Kwan.
Michelle Kwan. That's pretty good. I'm going to say Mr. Ed.
Michelle Williams.
Yep, Michelle Williams.
Michael Scott. Oh, no, that's...
Oh no, Jen is out, which means it's down to me and Cara. I'm going to say Mookie Blaylock, which was a NBA player.
God, what? Shoot.
3 seconds. Cara has lost, which makes me the winner, which rarely happens. My last one was Muggsy Bogues, another NBA player. Jen gets 3 more points. That's 1.
I was
2,
trying to think Magic
3.
Johnson. And
that would have been perfect. That would have been perfect.
I was like,
Magic Johnson's one that I should have just like said.
That would have been great.
For a show about a Laker.
Yeah. There you go. Cara, final score of 10. Jen, final score of 7. So it ended up not being too far apart. Did you guys have fun on the podcast?
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you so much for doing it. And I do have prizes, which I haven't done in a long time.
That's exciting.
But you guys, I know, like this kind of stuff. So, Cara, you get to pick first. Would you like a pop culture art square of Princess Leia? Or would you like Lumpy Space Princess and BMO from Adventure Time as Harley Quinn and the Joker?
Oh, this is a tough one, but I think I'm going to go with Princess Leia.
Princess Leia for Cara, which means Jen gets the Adventure Time print. Shout out to my friend Drew Blank, who draws these great pop culture art squares. Girls, thank you so much for doing the show. Anything you want to plug before you go?
Our lights just flickered.
That was a ghost telling you to plug the ghost.
There's a ghost that lives in my house.
Follow him on Twitter, Jen Ghost.
You can check out my favorite place in LA called the Perky Nerd.
Perky Nerd. I actually put that as a bullet point for your plugs.
Nice.
I put Perky Nerdekquestion mark.
Is like one of my favorite places in LA. It's where I've embraced my comic book-ness.
And it's in Burbank, California.
Perky
Nerd, a lot of cool events and stuff there.
And you can follow my cat Hedwig on Instagram at Hedwig the Smushed.
Well done. Cara, anything for you?
Well, I'm going to have to plug myself now because my friend did not plug me.
Oh, and Cara's great.
Oh, there you go.
If you need a editor, like I said, I specialize in unscripted. But if Doctor Who or Riverdale really want me to come,
Riverdale,
I would love to work on those shows. I'd love to work on any show, really.
Where can people, do you do a LinkedIn? Is that maybe the best place to find you?
LinkedIn's probably the best.
Cara Rouse, Cararouse.
Correct. Nice.
She's a great editor, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for doing the show.
Thank you.
And we'll talk to you soon. Hey, we'll see you probably April 21st at Last Name Brewing for my big Disney, Marvel, Star Wars trivia event, 7 to 10 p.m. Teams of up to 4, $10 a person. Come on in and win a bunch of stuff.
Nice.
Cheers. Thanks, guys.
Cheers.
There it is, Jen and Cara. What a great bout on the Trivia with Buds podcast. How'd you do playing along with them? Could you keep up with a couple of TV producers? Thanks to Jen and Cara for doing the show and remaining friends in a very fun episode. Appreciate you guys doing it and having me over, and it was so cool. When I got there, Jen gave me an honest tea, half lemonade, Arnold Palmer, like the only thing I drink 2 or 3 times a day. So thank you so much, Jen, and I know you listen, so I hope it was fun for you to listen to yourself on the show. If you listen and you know anyone looking for a freelance editor, hit up Cara Rouse and tell him Bud sent you. She would appreciate it. It's Women's History Month, everybody, so celebrate all the women in your life and the women you love from history, and get ready for 2 more female-powered episodes with great guests like screenwriting teachers and hilarious comedians coming your way the rest of March. I hope you have a great St. Patrick's Day this weekend. I'll be hosting a special weekend day drinking trivia event at Brewport in El Segundo, California, near LAX. If you're down by the airport, if you want to play some Irish-themed rounds from 2 to 4 p.m. Saturday, March 17th. It's a really cool place. They give you a wristband when you get in, and it's digital, and you can scan any of their 50-plus beers, wines, and sodas, and you pay for it by the ounce, kind of like one of those cool candy stores at the mall, but with beer. So you get to try a bunch of stuff, and it's tons of fun. Lots of variety if you like drinking that way. And I'll be there for St. Patrick's Day from 2 to 4. Saturday, April 21st. I've mentioned this before, but the link is now up on my website, triviawithbuds.com. Scroll down to events and click on the very bottom event for April 21st. I'm doing a big Disney, Marvel, and Star Wars trivia night. It's 3 hours. We're going to spend an hour on each of those topics in Upland, California, Saturday, April 21st, 7 to 10 p.m. It's limited to 100 people, and you can have up to 4 people on your team. And the top 3 teams will get amazing prize baskets with tons of Disney, Marvel, and Star Wars stuff in those baskets. First place gets their first choice of basket, and so on and so forth. So that's going to be a lot of fun, and you can get the tickets on my website. It's $10 on the website or $12 at the door. The whole event is limited to 100 people. So get those sooner rather than later to secure your spot on April 21st. If you like this show, please leave me a review on iTunes or on Yelp. If you play my live trivia nights, I'd love a nice Yelp review. Those always help me book more gigs, and I'd love to hear what you think about the show, either live or podcast version. And if you have a few bucks to spare, head over to patreon.com/triviawithbuds and help me feed my microphones. Is that what you do? You have to feed microphones? I feed them all these great words every week, twice a week, if that's a thing. Help me support my family. That probably makes more sense. So help me feed my kids another day and my dogs. And go to patreon.com/triviawithbuds, throw a few bucks and get some cool stuff in the mail, mailed to you monthly. It's kind of like Loot Crate with pop culture items over at my crib, and I'll send them to your crib. It'll be great. Thanks again so much for listening to this show. Hope you have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you this Thursday on the mini episode for Arcade Game Trivia. Have fun and cheers.